As the COVID-19 pandemic takes hold, the capacity of governments around the world to respond to the health crisis is being seriously tested. It is no brainer that the youth of this country are and have always stepped forward to help offer and avail solutions when called upon or not. Recently, the health CS Motai Kagwe appealed to the young generation to join the government in creating awareness among Kenyans on the need to obey the directives and their participation too. In this regard, we have seen a number of innovations for the shortest time from our youth. We saw Kenyatta University students developing prototype of ventilators that are yet to be approved That is, this week in Nyeri, a youth leader by the name Waithera Waruru showed the courage and resilience in helping the marginalized groups, especially street families, to get food and improvised hands-free tippy-tap devices for washing hands. All this drives us to our today's discussions, whereby I want us to talk about youth and innovation and various initiatives that the youth has come up with tentatively to combat the spread of COVID-19. Many thanks for joining Youthpad. My name is Francis Ngala, and to help me break this down, I'm joined by John Kamau, who is an innovator and CEO SMS Africa. Many thanks, Mr. John Kamau, for making time for Youthpad and for just coming around. I hope you're staying safe and, of course, washing your hands and sanitizing as per the government directive.
Sure. I've been sanitizing, and for the first time, I never knew that more alcohol will go to my hands more than my mouth.
Well, that's tough.
So thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
I think it's a good theme, and I'm really happy and honored to be invited here.
Basically, before we go, we just start with this conversation. Can you help us understand what innovation is? What does the word innovation mean?
So from my own opinion, I would say an invention. I'll start with an invention so that we're able to separate both and understand what both of them mean and what is required of us for us to achieve both of them.
Yes.
So for inventions to start with, these are processes, goods or services that are introduced for the first time. So when we talk of those services or goods, we'll say you are the father of a certain thing because you are the first person to start it. There are so many inventions, but not all invention turn to be innovations. So innovations are now inventions that are already in use. So there is, I produce something, I need to multiply it, and if the public accept it, then it becomes an innovation, because we've been able now to turn an invention to an innovation. So these goods and services are now sellable to people, and people are willing to buy them. So at that point, you've done an innovation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, are these two words correlated?
Yeah, they're correlated because for us to have innovations, we need to start with inventions. So if we need to have a lot of innovations in the country, we need now to support inventions.
Yeah.
We need to have places or workshops where youth can go and test what they think. Basically, we come up with a lot of ideas, but making those ideas now get the whole skeleton thing, and you have a whole body of an idea that can now be implemented and become an innovation is pretty hard for us in terms of financings, in terms of manpower, resources, all those things. So if youths are in excess of these things, so we'll have a lot of inventions turning into innovations. Yeah.
So as what you've heard from my introduction, what can you say about youth and innovation as far as innovation itself is concerned and the efforts that they have been putting previously?
So I would say Kenyans are born to be fighters, and as the president have already said, we will overcome this, and especially the problem we are having now. So in most cases, and what I've seen from the past, youths would always come up to solve to give us solution to the problems that we are facing. Currently, we have the pandemic that is forcing us into our houses. These youths are coming up with solutions. We need to get food, we need to get services, but they are able now to deliver these from they can deliver them to our doorsteps. So during these situations, our youths are coming up with solutions, and as you said, there are youths who are even in pharmaceutical industries who are coming up with ventilators and all these have you, and they're helping the people. So Kofi Annan once said, and may his soul rest in peace, that countries that won't foster and have the youths supported will be left behind. So it's high time that youths are invited in the table, in decision-making tables, so we are able to come up with these solutions. There are things that only us, the youths, understand them well. So if we don't have youths in decision making, it means that these things that we understand well, things that we know, we can do something and we can come out victorious on such things. If we are not invited on the table, I think these ideas will go down and will never be implemented. Yeah.
In your own analysis as an innovator and also as a young CEO, what can you say about the youth response when the LCS, what Ikagwe called the plea on to come on board and fight coronavirus?
I think it was tremendous, it was big, and it was something recommendable. That the youths, within days, we've been able to see inventions. I've seen automatic hand washing machines that have been built just out of a car battery. So the youths are coming up with solutions very fast, and I know in a few weeks and months we'll be able, even probably there is a chance that we can get a vaccine from here. So if we are able now to finance the youths to do these things, the better. So I feel the youth's response has been well acquitted and something to recommend. And I feel, and it's actually a challenge to most of the youths to come up, what in this condition, instead of just sleeping at home, what else can you do to help your brother, your sister, and everyone else? These we are the future of tomorrow. We are the leaders of tomorrow, and instead of us waiting for tomorrow, we can be the leaders now. We can do things now that will make sure that generations to come will know that there were youths within 2020 when the pandemic was here, and they did all they can. And our history will be left on rocks, not on sand.
Yes. What can you say that, like, they have always been coming up whenever they are called? Is the response good so far?
So I'll say, once the pandemic is over, probably all these ideas will go down and they won't be implemented. What I'll say is we need to have a continuity of all these ideas. So, and that's why governments need to provide finances, to provide resources to the youth, so that it becomes a culture. It's not something that once we have a problem, we solve a problem and it's done. We go to our normal ways of life. So what I'll say is, governments and also private agencies need to come up with the incentives to make sure they are able to support the youths, not only now but also in future, so that we are able to come up with solutions. And by this I mean, for example, for a youth to set up a company, he needs, for example, 10,000. He needs a public secretary to set up that company. So all these things, what we need is, for example, to have a tax holiday for the youths. That for the next 5 years, inventions of this kind and being done by persons below 35 years will not be charged, will not be taxed for the next 5 years. With these inventions and innovations will be able to be expanded. These things now will be able to produce more and sell more to the people. And if people feel that your products are cheaper, of course, because of the tax relief, you will be able to sell more, and these people will also be able to buy more. But the more we still treat them as grown corporations, that's where we go wrong. So for the SMEs, for the innovations that have been approved and can now be rolled out to the community and to the people, government need to do a lot of support. And it's with this support that most corporations, even in developed countries, have grown. Tesla is a big company, but they got $500 million USD from the US government for them now to do the S-car, the totally electric car. And with these, Tesla has now overtaken even Volkswagen to become one of the most expensive, one of the most, a lot of net profit that has been made from these cars, the S-cars. So I'll say government needs to support the youths and small SMEs, and with that we'll be able also to get alternative goods and services. You've talked about invention and innovation. Someone might have got lost between maybe invention and innovation on how to spot such an opportunity. How can someone spot innovation opportunities for innovation? You don't need to even go an extra mile or go an extra step for you to get an innovation or the inventions. So all these things it's all about the ecosystem that you are in. So what problems are you facing? How do I correct those problems? Let's say that you are working in a marketing company. What can you do? There are guys who are coming up with blogs. They can put up news. In the middle of these news, they can put up ads. So with this, they're earning, and also they're helping the companies. So it's all within where are you working within. If you're not working, what is your ecosystem? What do you think is needed in that ecosystem? So when you have that question, now you can come up with an idea how to solve that problem. So you don't have to be employed in a big company. Because I think most of us have come out of universities thinking that there are white-collar jobs waiting for us. So we grow with a mentality of job seekers, not job creators. So it didn't ask for, if there are issues in your community, how do I solve them? Once you solve them, we can
That's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge that you solve problems within your community. If everyone else does that, then we are good. We can solve a lot of problems. Yeah.
So maybe from the massive recent innovations that we've seen, and so many which we are not able to maybe to locate where the innovations are taking place, and from many youths are across the world and across the country. Do you think the government should come up with a ministry that only focuses with innovation?
I think we have the Ministry of Youth, Gender and Women. Yes, I feel it will be better for us to do a lot of research. So we need really a ministry that focuses on research, so that we are able now to support all this research. So that, because for example, for you to really say that there is a problem, you need to research on it. Once you research that, then you can do a test to the community, see whether it works. If it works, then you can multiply your products and sell them more. So the government should support the youths for them to do this research. Also, we need to make sure that we get free advice. So if we had a ministry that can be advising the youths in large institutions, universities, chief barazas and all that, then it will be better. So we need to get a lot of advice. We need also to be brought to the public. For example, if I have an invention and it's aired on the TV, so there is a chance most of the corporation will come, and probably they will help me take that dream to be now an innovation, from an invention to an innovation. So it really asks for a lot of intervention from the government, totally from supporting in terms of finances and resources. So government is a big player here, because even if I was to develop a product, it will need now to go through KEBS for them to say, Didi, it is good for uptake to be taken to the people. So government holds a lot in terms of incentives, as I said, in terms of regulation, and in terms of also opening new markets, not only here but also in other countries. If I have a good product that is sellable here, probably government can help me also export the same to another country.
And do you think there will be any advantage involved when the ministry maybe of innovation could be moved out and devolved? Do you think there could be any advantages of such move?
Yeah, there is, because funny enough, in the US we have more young billionaires than old billionaires, upcoming billionaires. In terms of artists, in terms of innovations, we're also building apps, providing services online and all that. And as I said, the future of Africa is internet. So most of the things that can be provided on internet, if we have youths also involved in that, it will be better. So if we have the whole department devolved to stand on its own and become a ministry, to be better, so that they focus on making sure that all these big ideas that we have see the light of the day, and they can now be rolled out to the people. So it really asks for government to make sure that there are agencies set aside to only focus on making sure that all these innovations take place, all these innovations takes place, and they are supported. With that, we will make a lot of things. We will come up with solutions for most of the problems.
Okay, quite an interesting conversation here. Let's have some quick commercial break. We shall be back. Remember our social media handles at CAC TV _Kenya, Twitter and Facebook CAC TV. See you shortly after the break.